Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to make a video about how I do bar by bar analysis and teach how I backtest doing bar by bar analysis. So I have two examples to show today. We might do a third, but I wanted to just show two winners because it highlights my plan, and it's more exciting to show winners, but I can show a loser quickly and easily too. So yeah, my my plan is still the same. I still trade breakouts not inside the prior day range and not inside the previous hour. But my entry time frame is lower because I use kind of like a Jesse Livermore pyramiding technique to scale into my positions and try and get my positions to be more risk free. I was losing a lot of money up front, so I just wanted to give that context for why I have a 2-minute chart down here. But my plan is completely the same. The only thing that's different is the entry candle, just because I wanted more bars in a day to be able to work with. So this day looks like it's the 24th of September. So what is today? It's a Wednesday, the 24th of September. So these gray lines here are the prior day high, prior day low, and then these green bars are the prior hour high, and the red bars are the prior hour low. This green line is the 25 EMA, and then this orange line is the 250 EMA. And this is just how I determine whether we're in a long environment or a short environment. And these red arrows, I actually wrote a code using ChatGPT to basically give me alerts for when these arrows appear. So whenever one of these arrows appear, we can go into Market Watch, and I have two, as you can see, I've got two NQ alerts, because I'm going to be trading NQ instead of ES, because when it trends better than ES. Okay, so now it's time to get to the bar by bar analysis, the main part of the video. So our first, and this is exactly how I would trade. The key with bar by bar analysis is you have to get yourself in the mind of you when you're trading, and trade exactly like you trade. You can't use the benefit of, hindsight and that you can see the whole chart. Everybody's a great trader with hindsight, and when they can see the whole chart, you have to trade it like you can't see what's to the right. And that's a challenge because you obviously can. But yeah, that's the key. So, oh my gosh, my cats are being crazy. I have two kittens, like 12 weeks old, 12-week-old kittens, and they're nuts. And they're really funny. I think they're 13 weeks now. You might have seen that in the other video, but sorry, that's my ADHD. I'm getting distracted, and I'll just zoom in on this to make it easier to see. So we get our first arrow here. So I would be alerted by this point, and I would quickly try and get to my computer and open the charts and hopefully be able to execute as fast as possible, because when you trade the 2-minute chart, you have to be quick and reactive. That's just the reality as a day trader from my time frame. And that's just okay. It is what it is. So I would join, and I would see that this does not actually become a signal. So my code would have alerted me here, but this would not be a signal because this bar does not close outside. It closes outside the previous hour, but it does not close outside the previous day's range. So this wouldn't be a signal. This wouldn't be a signal. This wouldn't be. This almost is, but would not be, because you can see there's a little white space. It doesn't quite close below. This wouldn't be, 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 But finally, right here at 11:32 a.m., we get our signal. Okay, so I still don't enter when I get a signal. I wait for a confirmation break. But at 11:34, right at the close of this candle, we get our confirmation break. So now I would be in this trade, and I just put my stop loss every time behind the entry candle, either right behind it, or if there's like a key level like there is in this case, this prior hour high, I'll put it behind that because it's only a few more points behind, and that just gives me a little extra cushion to reduce my risk of being stopped out. So I just zoomed in a little bit more to make it even easier to see, though it's getting kind of harder to see. Let me come on. There we go. Now it actually is easier. So this is my signal. So I would put my entry right here. This is this line. My stop loss, we'll just say it's that red line right here. Market goes down. Market goes up against me. Market goes down again. Market goes down again. Market goes down again. Or up, down. And then we get a really nice move down on this candle here. It goes down almost 30 points in, or about 25 points in 2 minutes. And so at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this trade has proven itself correct. How do I better monetize this trade? Because now I'm entering with just small position. I don't want to risk my own capital too much up front anymore, because it just makes me emotional. I feel much better just, betting more when it's a winner. So at this point, we can take a look at my plan. Here are my entry rules up top. Here are my position and risk management rules below. I trail the stop loss, of course, but I'm allowed to add contracts if the stop loss keeps the position in the money. So, and the candle has to also start and close past the entry price. Just realized I didn't have that word. So this is my plan. So we get a bar here that's out of the money, or at this point, I'm feeling really good. I might add one contract here. That would bring my stop or my position from here down to here, and I would put my stop loss here and would be at break even. And then we get this bar, okay, another bearish bar, and at this point I'll add another one or two contracts here and move my stop loss here. This way, the position's right here. If I get stopped out, I'll at least make a little money. Not a lot, but I'll make some. I don't get stopped out here. This one goes against me. At this point, I'm probably I'm getting pretty excited. It hasn't stopped me out yet. This is me just thinking about what I'd be saying. This is just bar by bar. In the moment, even when I feel all these emotions, it shouldn't matter, because I should just be executing my plan regardless of what my emotions are. That's why it's really important that I have a plan that I can follow despite whatever my emotional state is. So I'm just as much like a robot as possible, and I'm just executing. So at this point, I might even add one or two more contracts. It would bring my position level probably to about here. which is where I'd put my stop loss, and I'd just say, look, this is either going to be a break-even trade. This is either going to be a break-even trade, and I'll just get stopped out, and it'll be fine. I'll have given back like 20 points, no big deal. Or now my position sizing is pretty big. If it moves down again, that's going to help me out a lot. Hey, are you okay? Kitties. Those guys are being little devils. Okay, where was I? Okay, so then we break down, and we break down again. And who knows, at this point, I might even say, you know what, I'll just add even a little bit more and move my stop loss, down to this bar here, because we trail behind the last 2 to 3 bars. Typically, most of the time, 2, sometimes 3. And then we get this really solid move down. And it's like, okay, now this position is doing very well. We had another big bar in our favor. So I'm just going to trail this until we get stopped out or until we hit a key level. So I can look left on the hourly chart here. I don't really see anything. Here's the daily chart right here. So, you could say like the middle of this candle here. But I think I would just look at the major price level. We're right here. We're at 680. 650 is just a big psychological number. So you could just target 650 or you could just trail your position. These casts I've never seen them like this. They're being wild. I think it's just because they're finally getting out of their room and getting used to the whole apartment. Okay. So pushes down, pushes down, pushes down. I'm trailing 2 behind. So on this candle, my stop loss would be here. On this candle, my stop loss would be here. On this candle, my stop loss would be here. On this candle, my stop loss would be up here. And then on this candle, my stop loss would be right here. So it would stop me out at 24653. So, we entered back here at 768. We'll say just 770, round up. And it goes down to 650 is where we get stopped out. So that's pretty great. Pretty great. 120 points. Most of the position, though, we added around this area, but still that's 80 points below. So that would have been a really sizable win for me, for my account, and relatively risk-free, which is the really exciting thing. And you may ask yourself, how often do these opportunities come around for you, Peter? And I would say, well, it depends, but not very. Nice, clean moves like this maybe happen like twice a month or so. But then there's like some moderate moves which happen more often. And then we also just have losers that happen pretty frequently too. Like more frequently than not, my trades will lose or get stopped out for break even. So I said I had 2 examples. Let's go to the other one. That one is more recent. Is that it? I'm just trying to find, because I already doodled. Yeah, here we go. So this is the second example I wanted to show. This is this previous Thursday, October 30th. So this is my plan. we would have entered here on this blue line, pushed down to here. This candle right here would have stopped me out because we trail 2 behind. So this would be 40 NQ points. Then this, we get a signal here, but this never fills. Yeah, we don't ever get a fill there. Then this signal, that we do get a fill here, and we lose 20 points. So we're up 20 points on the day. And then we get this third trade, and this is, I think, like a 70-point winner. So we'd enter, this would be the signal bar. You get entered there. You're trailing on this bar here. You'd trail right here. This bar here, you'd be trailing right here. You know, at this point, at a bar like this, you know, we're closed. This bar started and closed, but mainly it started. Like this bar's high point was still, you know, there was some space between this bar's high point and where we entered. So the stop loss could be brought up after a bar like this. I could add a contract or two and then basically put my stop loss right here, and I could be at like break even on the position with 2x normal size, and it's completely risk free. And the thing is, when you do this, you get stopped out a lot, but sometimes, like the 2 examples I'm showing here, you don't. And this trade, you get stopped out a lot, you lose a lot, but these wins will make up for that. And basically, the only options that this strategy allows you are small losses, break even, small wins, and big wins. So the small losses, the small wins, and break evens are 80% of trades and contribute to about 20%, 10%, 0 to 10% of the results, maybe 20%. But then, like, the probably 5% of the trades that work out this well, as the first example, that's where you make 80% of your profits. So 5% of trades make 50% of profits. Anyway, so I'd scale up on this one maybe, or this one here, because it's after, you know, a nice push down, and we're sufficiently away from the entry position level. Then we get another push down. It pushes back. You know, I might add a contract or two here and slide my stop loss up upon the close of this bar. Then we push down really good. And yeah, at this point, I said I would take profit here because it's a major key level, 25,900. Anytime there's like a 900, a 100, a 200, a 300, these are just major levels, and they're places that buyers and sellers like to fight over price. So it's just a good place to get out. You don't want to add to your position at levels like this. You want to add to your position when there's space for it to run, not when why am I losing my train of thought so bad? Not when you're at a key like market structure level. Sleepy. Okay, so those are the two things I wanted to show you. And I'm happy to do more of these bar by bar videos. You know, I'll just stare at a chart for like several hours and just go one day at a time and just look at all the times I would have entered, add up like the losers, the winners, and I'll just do this. I've done this for hours and hours. I've fallen asleep doing it the last 3 nights after several hours of doing it. So it's a grind, but it gives you confidence in your plan because you really understand it better, and you trust it more because you know what happens when you follow it. So remove our clear drawing set. So all the drawings are gone. We'll auto zoom. And look, I can just pick a random day and show you what happens. Here, on this arrow here, wouldn't have gotten filled. This arrow here wouldn't have gotten filled. Oh, this is the day I just studied, was it not? Yeah. Wait. Yeah, this was the day I studied, my bad. I was just trying to pick a random day. Boom. Okay, right here. This one. Right here. Would have got stopped out for very small loss because we would have split our stop loss up 7-8 points. This one wouldn't have ever filled. This one either never would have filled because I would have stopped watching, or lost 7 points. So very small loss. Because remember, I start every position with a very small amount, like $100 of risk, and then I won't size up until it's for sure like the candle is starting and closing above my entry level price, and I can like add to it, add contracts, and still have like a break even or better stop loss. Like I only add when it's in the money and then when it's proven, and when I size up, it'd be free money because I'm trading with paper gains. So I'm risking my paper gains, but I'm not risking my starting capital, and that's what's important because I'm being defensive and I'm sizing up in a protective manner, and I think that is what the big deal is. So this one, would have made me, let's see, like 6 points, or 6 to 10 points I would have made on this one. This one right here, I'm just going arrow by arrow and just saying quickly what would happen. Enter here, push down, push up. See, this one's really tricky because it's like, where would I have put my stop loss? Do I put it right behind the bar? Because if I would have put it right behind the bar, I would have gotten stopped out by this. But if I would have put it up here, a couple points off the bar, I wouldn't have got stopped out. So it's tricky. Or actually, no, it's not, because one of my rules is when the first bar that closes past my entry level, I automatically move my stop loss up. So I would have lost on this trade 14. Ooh, whoa. Oh, this was that incredibly volatile sell-off day where it sold off from 25,360 down to, yeah, the market lost like a lot of money this day, a lot of points, almost 1,000. So yeah, I would have got stopped out on this one. I would have lost probably like $50 though, so not bad at all because I would have had to risk maybe more like 80 or 90. I would have lost, but very volatile. And say I kept watching, got back in on this signal here, I could have rode this down and posted a nice profit. I could have either ridden it down to about here, which is 90 points, or if I didn't get stopped out here, then I could have taken it all the way down to 200 points down. So that's really good. Here, another one of my rules is, unless it's like the open, like the first 30 minutes or a red folder day, because those days I'll trade if it's like a farther away like I use these ATR up here, the ATR1 and the ATR14, and if this ATR1 value is greater than 50% the value of the ATR14, I don't trade, because I view it as like if the ATR of the day, like the current day, is greater than 50% of the average for the last 14 days, that means there's like not as much juice left to squeeze. But in the first, obviously, like on red folder days, the average ATR is higher, and on um, in the first 30 minutes, that's when the first 30 minutes to 90 minutes is when the biggest moves typically happen. So I allow myself to trade up to like the full whatever the value is of on the 14 ATR. If the ATR1 goes up to that, I'm allowed to trade. But if it exceeds that, I'm not allowed to trade. I just say it's too volatile, and I just will sit out and protect my capital. So I wouldn't be taking. I say all that to say I wouldn't be taking these arrows, because we're at like 1,000. We're at like 3 times the average ATR at this point. Like the ATR was literally, if you look at the daily chart, second from the top left, the ATR for this day was 1,000 points, and the average is 300. And yeah, it's pretty crazy that day was. So no signals at all this day. One signal here. Would have taken this short. Got in here. Wrote it down to here. So this would have been a 70 down to 93. So a 75-point winner. So I'm just going every single arrow. I'm just being honest. This one never would have filled. This one would have probably lost me 68 to 33. So this one would have lost me like 35 points. Right here, what would have happened here? Would have made about 37 points. Right here, never would have got filled. Right here, never would have got filled. And when I say, because no confirmation break here, no confirmation break here. This never would have got filled. No confirmation break. This one would have broken even or made me like a point. Never would have filled. No confirmation. This one would have made 11 points. This one, I don't think this filled, and if it filled, I would have lost 24 points, but I don't think this would have filled. Oh, I think I've disproved myself wrong. I'm looking really closely at this line, and when it's like I'm unsure, I always like to default to saying it would have filled and taking the loss anyway. So this would have lost to me 24 points, 23 and a half. These cats, man. Cats are funny. Never would have filled. And now my chart is like all messed up. There we go. This one. See, would have filled here. Would have moved my stop loss up to here, like to just right like to this green line. At wouldn't have got stopped out there. I think this one probably would have stopped me out. So I'll say, well, would have lost um, 5 points on the MES or MNQ. Where to go? Where were we? I think you get the idea. Like, this is how I do my bar by bar analysis. I'm trying to go fast so I can show lots of examples. Um, and as you can see, like, those really good ones, opportunities don't come a lot. Like, it's a lot of 10-point win, 20-point loss, 30-point win, break even trade, 10-point loss, 5-point win, 1-point win, break even trade. It's a lot of that. And that takes like patience, and that's hard, and it wears you down psychologically, and then you want to cut corners and just trade off your plan. And the key is you can't do that. You have to just stay patient, because the goal of this plan is not to get rich. Like, we want to get rich from trading, obviously, but it's the thing that is special about this is it's just going to protect you, or it protects me, because I'm sharing my plan for me. I'm not, you know, telling other people to use it or anything. I'm just saying, like, for me, I'm saying for me, it's a lot of, you know, nothing great happening, but occasionally we'll get a nice run. Like, most of it is just not, like, nothing really happening. We probably wouldn't have taken this trade because we're 300 points for this trade, because we're above 50% ATR. This would be 200 points right here, which is greater than 50% of 350. So wouldn't have taken this, wouldn't have taken this. This trade, 15 points. Not a lot going on here. Not a lot. Wouldn't have filled, no confirmation. Probably wouldn't have taken this because we're outside the first 30 minutes. And if I did take it, it would be a break-even trade. Wouldn't have taken any of this because we're way above the ATR requirement. This one would have been a loss. This one would have been could barely see that. This one, 2-point loss. So basically break even. Anyway, I'm getting really tired, so I'm gonna call the video here. But I hope this kind of is helpful to you, the viewer, to better understand how my plan would work. I'm really tired, so I have to go to bed, but I appreciate you watching. Hopefully it was educational. Hopefully you were slightly entertained, and hope maybe you learned something, and maybe you hate it and you think what I'm doing is silly, and that's okay. I'm doing this. I welcome all feedback, so just let me know in the comments or message me. and hopefully everything works out. Hopefully we get more setups. So that does it for me. I'm really tired. Yeah, appreciate you watching. Have a great week ahead of you, and wish me luck, because I need it. Peace.